I'm scooting into the video. So what I'm doing is I made a kind of combination. There are things in literature sometimes that I think are trickier, and it's been interesting this year with Sinfonia to simplify some things. And so I'm taking a bit of Berceuse and a bit of Here Comes the Sun and making my own conglomeration of it to especially teach first position. We're going to start in G major. And when I do the BG, I'm going to go to A, and then, so I'm probably most of the time either going to be in first position. Sometimes it'll be a 4/4 shift to the A, and then that would be A, G, F sharp. And then the D would be here, and then the 4 on the D, a step higher than usual. And then, and if it's F sharp, that's a little weird and big. So that's some of what I'm doing. And then you can go to the A, but then it'll, because we're going to A major, it'll be G sharp. So at the bottom of the second page of this etude piece that I've made up, G sharp, F sharp, E peeling off. I'd start slowly, and then maybe faster, eventually, or something fun to work for. And you see, if you make it all shifty, like, I mean, that's just, you won't ever get faster. Not that you can't, but eventually it's nice to be able to do those patterns quickly from a smooth walking standpoint. And from far away, you might not see the movement through the forearm, but it certainly is there. And the open A would be Do, obviously. We're string on T, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. And you can just have fun within patterns and just let your body flow. Not be as concerned about what you're playing, but playing within a pattern. That's always fun. So it's going to start in G major, then go to A major. It sounds a little bit like the Berceuse, the Schubert Berceuse, which Berceuse means lullaby. So maybe it's just before dawn. And then the Here Comes the Sun has to wake up, and then it comes, and it's not the whole Here Comes the Sun. I wanted it to fit on 2 pages. So, and I practiced bass a lot today. So see the cello's on its end pin. I'm comfortable, very comfortable in my sitting, and I didn't understand this decades ago when Barbara Conable told me about it. Frank Miller plays very much, even a lower end pin than this, I think. And it just lets me feel more like when I'm playing the bass. Notice, that's just my hand relaxed. That's my hand relaxed on the bow. It has no twists. It doesn't have to have any twists unless it twists, and then that has a potential consequence. That would be a bummer. So let's see. I know in a performance you don't necessarily get to warm up, but that's what's nice. Oh, finally I'm tuning. In a performance, you get to like tune before you play, even if you're already in tune. It's a great excuse to warm up. And then from the beginning, because it's a solo cello piece, maybe I'll make a piano part up, maybe I won't. So, lullaby feeling. interesting. I'm going to start measure 7. I made something up, but I'm going to try to just, so that it almost feels like those first 6 measures are like introduction. So here's measure 7. Sorry about that. I just started making something up that wasn't on the page. Oops. Can you tell I'm sleep deprived? I stay up late, get up early, have caffeine. Here we go. Measure 7 now. Ha! Touching on a little bit of the Berceuse themes, but mostly with plain quarter notes without dotted rhythms, because I didn't want it to be something that had to teach more things than I wanted it to. There's enough in the Here Comes the Sun themes that we're touching on with the syncopations. So the first time the Here Comes the Sun theme comes in, it doesn't have as many double stops, and it can be a little slower, like waking up in the morning, I'm a little slower, so. And the thing that's nice about a solo cello piece, there may or may not be dynamics written in. Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach, sometimes wrote in more dynamics than others. And I kind of like leaving, when I write things, sometimes I just like leaving it to the player's discretion a little bit rather than overly annotating. Other times I annotate a lot. I guess it just depends on the context. So I'm going to put it all together, that whole first page, lullaby feeling. Here we go. Mistakes. But at least that kind of gave you an idea of how it flows. You know, and everybody's different. On a concert day, well, it also depends. Sometimes on a concert day, I want to run everything. Sometimes I just want to run spots. Maybe it depends on my level of preparation or how many concerts I've had, how many weeks in a row. So I am going to start, what measure is that? 22, and I'm just going to do it slowly once. Now there's a choice there. You can do 1, 3, and then shift for the G sharp. If you're comfortable with extensions, it makes it all more underhand, but some people would rather do the 3 and then shift for the G sharp. In certain circumstances, I think you could do either one. So I'm going to try it one more time, the second page from measure 22. double stops. But if I were performing this, I wouldn't stop. Obviously, right now, I'm rehearsing. And let's see, that's measure 28, 29, 30. So this is where it becomes more about sixths, but every once in a while there's a major third between two strings in second position. But you do have to go back for a D sharp. And then you can just come back to 3 and... When I'm doing this, sometimes on my own, I'll go, and then I'll do it in second position. For the person whom I have this in mind, I think I'm going to stick more to half position and first position, except where it really must. When it's C sharp, 3 on high spot, high 4 spot, 4 on A, and then 4 on D, 1 on 3 spot F sharp. That's a good thing to practice for that. So for measure 30, slowly. Oh no, that's a D. And it surprised me and I wrote it. Ha! But I haven't thought about it for a while. So this is I just didn't want to hit the stand. Major 7th, tritone. So it's major 6th, major 6th. When you shift to the 4 on the A, it's a minor 6th. So here we are from measure 30. This is where it gets a little odd. You need to do the E, F sharp, but it'll be harmonized with a major 3rd. And it's always open A, and then C sharp, which is a minor 3rd. And then normal 3, another minor 3rd. So you're going from this C sharp, A minor 3rd. That's fun to say fast 3 times. C sharp, E minor 3rd, C sharp, no. Then a minor 3rd, B, D. And then a perfect 5th. Then a perfect 4th. And then just tuck the perfect 5th in, then the C sharp. So I keep the bow flowing and then add the A. I keep the bow flowing and add the E. I'd go to the C sharp with 1, so there is 1 3rd position place. But I think that makes it quite pretty. Oh yeah, make sure you're comfortable. It's easy to brace yourself and shove around. Bracing yourself and shoving around is generally not a good idea on the cello. Having freedom in the torso, feeling a little bit like the cello is a bass. And let's try it from measure 22, maybe not too fast. Really, tempo is up to you. Interesting. I added an E where there was none. So it's a little bit like a little study piece and a little whimsical. It certainly isn't the whole Here Comes the Sun, but everybody would recognize that much, and I think it's enough to call it a piece and done. So I will try to perform the whole piece now without messing up and adding extra stuff that isn't there. If I do, the joy of live performance or performance on YouTube. always the person who listens to myself play it later and go, oh, that's out of tune. Oh, I would have liked to have done that better. And then if I wait a few weeks or months, I can come back to it and be more forgiving of myself. We have that critical part of ourselves as a person, and we have that part of ourself that listens with more forgiveness. And I think each of those things has their place. But if we live too much in our critical self, that can be really difficult to us as musicians and as people. And if we live too much in our lackadaisical, complacent self, we feel frustrated at not accomplishing enough. So I hope this will be helpful and that you'll have fun practicing, whoever practices it. But my special student in mind for whom I wrote this yesterday. And good luck. Happy practicing. Farewell.